Well, there you are again. Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, getting kicked out of the Unsolved Mysteries audition. Yeah, good times. Please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, it's in the description for Zelle. I appreciate it. So yeah, getting kicked out of Unsolved Mysteries auditions. Does anybody remember that show? I think it was Robert Stack that hosted it. I liked the show. This happened in late 90s. So let me explain how. So I was out in Los Angeles. I get an agent, and they send you on auditions. And sometimes it's a process. There's callbacks, they're called, meaning they like you in the first audition. They call you back, and then you have to, usually you're with the casting person first. They're holding the auditions. If you pass that, then you usually move on to like a producer or live producer, someone within the show, a little higher up. Perfect. So it's Unsolved Mysteries for the show. It's a reenactment for what they usually have like 3 or 4 reenactments on that in the hour, whatever that show is. And so I was playing a lawyer interrogating someone, and what you get is called sides. You get like it's a couple lines, a paragraph, whatever. You don't get the whole script. It's called your sides. If you want to do anything, you got to memorize those sides. You can't go on an audition and hold the page. That's it. None of that. You want to be off script, and it takes time to learn that. I used to write it out over and over and over and highlight, put my beats, because you got to remember to breathe. Bad actors don't breathe normally, and so I was, you get good. Anything you do, you're gonna eventually. By then I'd studied with people, and you got to slow down. Don't be too needy. I want to no, none of that. So I went through the first audition. You go into Hollywood, some casting house, Again, this is when headshots, and there's all these people in the lobby, because a lot of casting houses, there'll be multiple rooms for different things they're casting. So there's people dressed as a chicken and whatever. It's actually kind of cool. So I go in there, nailed it. By then I had, even the first audition, I'm off script. I don't have the sides even with me. And like, oh, Charles, well, because they don't want to. And this is the thing, you can't see the people because you can hear all the murmuring. So I sometimes I'd stand near the door, or sometimes if you can hear people audition, so you can hear how how bad they are doing the same. They sound the same, doing the same mistakes. Because it's all about choices when you're acting. Like, what choice do you do? What you do? My method was, I'm not going to act like, I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to not act nervous. I'm not going to try to be anybody else. And once I could do me, then I could move on and try to be another character. I mean, a lot of great actors are just them. Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's Sylvester Stallone, De Niro. It's the same. They're the same people. Yeah, you can try to get an accent or whatever. Brando, they all know this. Just bring what you got. What do you got? You master that. So I go to the first audition. Bam, nail it. Oh, you're offside. They were like, you're the first one that. Hey, by then I'd known. My agent's like, you gotta stay here, and I did. Sometimes if I stayed up all night, if I had to, just to get. I didn't want to be a nincompoop in there. And they call it your beats. I'd put a little highlight or like a comma where you breathe. When people talk, they take beats. They breathe. They're not just rushing around. So, okay, first audition, great. My agent calls me, you got to call back. All right. You got to go to, I think it was NBC. I think it was. Again, this is for Unsolved Mysteries. I was playing a lawyer. And I'm not even, honestly, I kind of geared toward what's called the heavy, meaning using what I got tattoos. A heavy is the bad guy. So it's like, I'd always just like, matter of fact, one of my last series of headshots, I just had like a white tank top on and kind of looked like, and again, I was always the best, at least the auditions. Because the last year of me auditioning, I auditioned like 103 times and that year, that's like 2 a week. And I only got like 3 parts, which were like short films for USC or whatever pilots, nothing. And I'll get to the why. I mean, you got to do certain things. I wouldn't want. So I go to this audition, and it's at NBC, one of the CBS, ABC. I think it was NBC, and it was just that lobby was just us. Everybody's auditioning for the same part. A bunch of dudes. They got their sides. I'm thinking, man. And birds of a feather stick together. There's people that you just kind of know. You kind of just group together. The guys that are, talking out loud, trying to act like they're, stupid. Of course, you want to dress the part. So I was a lawyer. I had like a blazer on, and people are going in and out. Sometimes they're in there longer than others. Sometimes it's just quick. Next, they'll call your name. So I get called, and I go in there, and it's a nice executive office. And they do this little trick where what they'll do, because they got these leather seats, it's nice. They'll literally have a little stage. It might be 6 inches to an inch, maybe higher, where their desk, which is nice carved wood, is on that, and then they're in a chair that's sitting up. So they're looking down at you. It's an intimidation tactic. They do it in business. Lawyers do it. I mean, people in Hollywood kind of get the upper hand, And if you're not strong-willed, strong-minded, oh God, that's a low-hanging fruit for me. That's easy. You don't think who gives a? All these people are physically weak. They got strong minds though. So you go in there, a little chit chat. Well, okay, let's just see whenever you're ready, Charles. And I get and I do it. And I nailed it. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's like I'd already, I even go, hey, you want this, what, that? And they'll go, hey, no, you know what? Once you put, they'll ask you a few times. Do it anxious, do it insecure, do it angry. You have to know these beats. You have to know these different. You just can't go in there like a monotone robot. I know, no. They're testing you to see if you can take direction, if you have any talent, if you know what the fuck you're talking about. So I nailed it. He kept, okay, do it again, do it backward, flip, whatever the fuck, you do it. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, oh no. I'm hearing something in your voice. Question mark. Well, yeah, I'm from the South. I mean, I got a little twang, I can't, shit. I'm from Tennessee. What am I supposed to do? Be like, oh no, lie. I'm a horrible liar. No, he's like, the South, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. And then the next, it kind of blows my mind because this is the first time at this level I had this like blatant kind of. His next question was, are you circumcised or not? Then I know exactly what road we're going down. I know exactly where this is headed. So I kind of start mirroring him. I go, what the fuck did you just say to me? And then he kind of snapped out of his, and literally at like a movie, he pushed a button. It literally was a box with a button on it. Bump, hit this button. Then I hear this ruckus and a door open because this place was big. This room was bigger than people's houses, man. There's a bar and all this other shit. Conference table. I mean, it was huge. And here comes these two dudes in suits. They look like Russians. I get it, shit. Okay, I just stand at the corner. I was like, Dad, see, don't be. And they didn't. Get the fuck up, I'm 6'2", 200 pounds, man. I'm not going to. But they kept, they'll hold your elbow walking. Yeah, I know I'm getting kicked down. He didn't have to say anything. He didn't say kick him out. He didn't say that. And he's kind of looked all, like nanny. But I have to go through this lobby, right, with all these other actors. And when I hit it, I see all these people. I'm like, man, one of you motherfuckers is going to have to do something you don't want to do. You might have to wash the dog or whatever they're calling it now. And then they're kind of, hey, you guys say you're banned. And then the security shows up. People that are in security, A lot of times they're not like mall security. Then you have to go through the other lobby where the front people, and there's other people. Go, And I'm parking. I have like, they give you like a little, like, you just can't walk into these places. You got like a little Sometimes it's a lanyard they have or a piece of you know, you're gonna be banned. And this was a good paying gig. It was actually for they pay you and then you get what's called residuals. So every time it runs, you get the original amount. So man, you might one of those shows. This was a top show at the time. So say if I made $1,200, every time it ran, I'd make that $1,200. It wasn't a buyout. That's why some of these TV people make more money than shit. So if I got my $1,200 and that ran like once a month, bam, once a week, whatever it's, hey, that's why I don't like to give residuals anymore. That's why they do buyouts, because they all the money is made behind the scenes now. People used to be able to you do one show, you could buy like a condo over a year or two, and a lot of times they'll come to you and go, hey, we want to buy you out because it's too expensive. Never buy. Now that it's all buyouts, you have to do them. But once you're in the residual, don't ever take that buyout because it's in perpetuity. It's forever, man. They'll dang you a little bit of money. I've never had that much money. Don't do it. So, of course, good day turns into bad day. You're driving through LA, Hollywood, the worst traffic you've ever seen. Yeah, you're mad. Okay, settle down. All right, let's do something you like. Go get some. Let's go get a falafel, or let's go. Get some Chinese food. Okay, once you get back to your dog will make you happy. Your friends. Hey, did you? Just forget about it. Move along with your day. Don't focus. So it's the next day. My agent calls me. What is it? Like, hey, what are you mad at me for? You're not going to go to the union, or you're not going to SAG. Screeners go, no. I'm not a snitch, man. I ain't going to. It's a small world. You don't want to even snitch people out. No. SAG's at 5757 Wilshire. It's a big building. It's nice. There's little restaurants at the bottom. And they got their own like credit union, bank. I mean, you can do shit. And I was a member. I could have reported him and did say no. I don't want to be no. So I said no. And she was like, look, I've been working him for years. He makes me a ton of money. Because your agent's getting a part of, I was like, man, I've got chill. I'm not going to, I'm not going to say anything. Don't you say anything either. I don't want people to know shit. If you do, I'll drop you. Look, I'm not going to say anything. Of course, she drops me. Just to play favor with dude. I'm sure he called again. How's he done? Well, I'll drop, I got another one. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like you. And she was known because she cast a B movie at the time called Scarface. Now Scarface, that movie with Al Pacino, is a huge thing. And that was a B movie. He was down on his career. That at the time didn't do that well. And now it's this huge, And she was not that she cast Scarface. So, oh my God, she's, who cares, man? Again, I got another agent in like maybe a month. But that's the kind of shit. That's actually why I retired. That's why I moved out of LA. That's why I quit acting in like 2011, 2012. I just couldn't take it, man. Those years are just like, oh my God. And I was warned, but I thought, well, maybe I could dilly-dally around. No. My humble opinion, but everybody you see on TV, every musician you hear, anybody when you get to a certain level, they're doing things they don't want to do. Maybe they get used to it and they just, I don't know. Some people might even like it. I don't know. It's a myriad of things you might have to do. It ain't just one thing. People have different kind of, but you got to keep it up. It ain't like a one time. You're washing a lot of dogs, isn't it? I've had friends that did it. So for a while they were successful. They get a little bit of tape and then, oh my God. And usually they'll cut you off. They'll cut people off around them that they don't. And then they get this new circle of friends and, then here they come. And you're like, who's this person? Oh shit. I've had roommates that people I thought I knew. And I was like, no. And they're like, oh, I'd never do it. And then they get, you're broke. You're struggling in LA. It's brutal. A lot of people will like shack up with strippers, women on disability, just the shit. I never would do that. There's another thing. There's levels to this stuff that I wouldn't do it. I always had my own place. I always had like, hey, I'm moving every day. I was go. If there's a way I knew how to make flip cars, sell guitar, shit. And what are you going to do? After a while, you realize you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have. What did I do? Well, I don't even like this. I made my bed. I took a gamble on my arts. Sometimes I've made a little bit, but you like realize like, oh wow, this is how the world is. Like, it has nothing to do. It doesn't matter how talented I get or whatever I do, hard work. That's it. No, you have to do. No, nope. I'm not going to do it. I have faith. I have a soul. I'm not shit. I don't want to age overnight, or get sick or whatever happens. And again, it turns into a good story that years later I can tell on YouTube. Hey, this happens all the time. Right now, it's happening. LA, Chicago, New York, wherever. Now, North Carolina is a big hub for acting. Georgia, Atlanta, I mean, everywhere. Miami, I don't know. Every band you hear, everybody, politician, everybody, newsmen. You think like, oh, he's crazy. Am I? And you got to keep. Then you're no. Oh, he's. So I got a reputation in my little small world. He's difficult to work with. Yeah, I'm real difficult because I'm not doing that, man. I don't care. I've had people call me like, man, just do it. No, you're talking about just Even certain things, it's different things. I'm not going to say what they are, but no, no. Some of them are really weird. You can't wrap your head around. What you want? Are you? No. So yeah, you get difficult. He's difficult. They don't want to work with you. They think you're a schmendrick or something. I don't give a damn. I'd rather have my peace of mind and my integrity, which is not. Again, and it sounds like a cop out. You think, well, he just didn't succeed. He's got to. I get it. It works twofold. They're smart. Pardon me. A lot of these actors, actresses, whatever, they end up like getting a casting. They end up teaching. I actually did. When I quit acting, I started teaching vocal lessons, singing lessons, because I couldn't teach. I have a better lineage as far as like I've had albums out, and I've got my acting. I was just in here, there, bit, this, that, one commercial, couple of pilots, just whatever it was. I did have some actors. Hell, I had plastic surgeons that took my vocal lessons because it's how you command your voice, your breathing pattern, how you create your world. If you want to command people, if you want people to take, you can't just be. There's a little in your insecurities in your voice. You got to get a hold of that. How do you do that? Through your breathing, and then you can learn to project your voice. And but yeah, I actually got in. Like, how can I make a living off of? Again, I'll admit it. It's like, damn, I should have went to college. I mean, I did, but I should. I should become an electrician or something. Shit. And also, money has not been it's more the accomplishments in my life. I get more fulfillment from accomplishing things. Of course, we want money. But I always, maybe this is a bad thing, but I always need enough money so I don't have to worry about money. I just need enough money, like, oh, I don't have to worry about my rent, my electricity, food, whatever. If you're living in LA, you're going to get parking tickets, man. You're going to get your car illegally towed or some drunk hits it. I mean, it's nonstop. It's brutal. I was there for 24 years. So I survived. A lot of people didn't, man. I had friends come out there for 6 months, and they're to this day, they go, oh my God. It changed me. That's kind of how I can read people, man. Because I had to. Because, for financial reasons, I'd have to move in like the, dangerous areas, just to survive, just to have like an apartment. How do you live? How do you gotta toughen up a bit. Gotta get your alligator skin on, man. You gotta look people in the eye. Don't say a fucking word. Your presence. That dude's crazy. Am I? Or they'll go, oh, he's an OG then. Why he saying he must be? No, I'm not. It's like you just it's the illusion of power. Not even power, just to survive. Again, get to your car and get to work or wherever you're going. No one's exempt out there. I don't care how. Now Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, which used to be like the nicest, most expensive block or two, whatever that that little strip, that street. They're pulling up, and literally like gangbangers are pulling up and stealing Rolexes from people. They have these patios where they're all eating like an $800 lunch. Man, they just pull up with, hey, it's gotten bad. It's sad. I love California. See, there's always an element, and if you stay away from certain areas, you could be okay. And I stayed there through the pandemic, man. I left in February of this year, February 2022, and yeah. There's times you just don't want to leave the house. And I lived in Arcadia at the end because I moved from Hollywood, then I went to Pasadena, then at the end I lived in Arcadia, which is like a suburb of LA. It's nice. It's a Chinese area. It's safer, a little bit more expensive. But people are like regular. Because man, in Hollywood, people ain't regular. It's fun when you're younger, and you want to go to a mansion party. To me, when I get to LA, it's like, I want to go to a mansion party. I want to do this Hollywood, to me, I thought it was fun. And then after a while, you're like, oh shit. Even mansion parties can be scary. Like, damn, who the fuck are they? See, just kind of like what makes you happy. Your little circle of friends, the food, because there's great food out there. And sometimes it's cheap. Cheap cars, cheap guitars, cheap clothing. And all this stuff kind of started disappearing. One of my favorite thrift stores out there, it was called It's a Wrap. It was on, I think, Magnolia in Burbank. And it was just used clothes that they used in films and TV shows. I have a black army jacket that's like a BDU, whatever, kind of a heavier jacket that was used by Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds. I watched that shitty movie. I never saw him wear that, but it could be between the sets, like it's cold at night, whatever you put on this big movie. But it's signed. I used to have the ticketing or whatever the hell. And it's got his initials in, it's from wardrobe. And it was only like $40. But then again, that could be a scam, who knows? But there's this stuff that don't exist. I don't even know if that's still around, but during the pandemic, they were closing all that stuff. And then you get tired of going to auditions again in 2011 or whatever, 103 auditions, and I only got 3, and they didn't pay that well. See, they started doing this SAG low rate. They changed the SAG laws. And so the low rate was they'd only pay you $150 a day. Then if it went into production and got picked up, they'd pay the back money, and then you start getting paid union, Well, if it never gets picked up, you just made $150 a day. And they work you like a pyramid builder, You're sitting around, and again, they have every kind of food out, in the holding. It's cool sometimes, but it's long hours. And like you're dealing with people that some of these people don't even know what they're doing. How did you get? Oh, okay. You washed the dog, of course. But you get known. You get known for they're like. I've had people I've had friends that that were their parents had Oscars and stuff, and then after years and years, like, dude, Charlie's actually a great actor, and he can, but it's like, again, he's not going to deal with these people. People reach out like, who's the best actor? We want someone like unknown. And people's like, hey, it's, Charles Greer. Really? And then oh shit. Because I just can't, I've walked off sets. I've quit moving. No. but at a certain, I mean, if I was getting paid more, maybe I wouldn't. Um, but you set goals, like you get in the union, and then when you get your first trailer, meaning when they provide a trailer, you know, you're like, oh, that's a goal. You gotta get your own trailer with your name on it, and mine was for this show, Seventh Heaven. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. So it was on the Sony lot, which is like in Culver City. I got my own trailer. Oh my god, I'm setting a goal. Go there. And they also they wanted to wrangle my car, meaning you get paid double the money because they're going to use your car in a scene. They call it a wrangling. They use your car. Hey, we want to use. Oh, hell yeah! So I'm getting all the take my car. Here's the key. Oh, yeah, and proof of insurance. Okay, and they're like your trailer. Just go. So there's a lot there, and there's the first are big for like movie star, whatever. And you row after row, and then they get smaller and smaller. I'm like, where the what? See, what I had was an Andy Gump. I don't know what you know. They're porta potties, but they're like a double porta potty. It's made out of plastic, and it had my name in tape, and the other names was like that thick of tape. They just tape over the name over and over. My name and tape. I go in there. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like literally on the wall, there's a roll of toilet paper. There's literally like just a plastic toilet, and then there's like this seating and then shelving or whatever. And they had like a little radio built in. No. And I walk out, and people are like, oh man. I'm like, yeah, but it was my first trailer. Hey. And the funny thing is, there's people jealous of that. You mother. It's like, dude, it's a dandy gump. And a lot of times once I got to the point where they give you like a little RV, basically, like it's small. You don't even get to use it. Like you go in there and change and then you just go. You have to go and. But you set goals. It isn't all what you think it is. That's why I started second. I mean, they said, what have I done? Again, it's nobody's fault but mine. Granted, I can't control how people treat me, but then again, I put myself in that situation. I'm not stupid. I'm a mature adult. Like, what have you done? And you okay, fine. It's what it is. And then people don't like to hire actors or musicians or whatever, unless it's sales. They'll put in the ad, if it's sales, especially commission sales, they'll say, we're looking for actors. Hey, like phone sale. Oh my God. I've been on the microphone salesman. Hey, with the tourists and shit. But if you're just a jobber, they call it, meaning people that just have a job, they're not going to hire. You're not going to be at an insurance company going, oh yeah, I need to take off 4 hours today to go to an audition. No, you're not going to. They don't like that. Or request like 3 weeks off for a film. Oh, really? You went by and you're fired. So it's kind of hard for creative people. Again, there's things that exist out there where you can make an income that don't exist elsewhere. I mean, maybe big cities or whatever. But in LA, there's a lot of, there's just ways to make a living. You can flip. Again, my thing was cars and guitars. I did it forever. Just, hell, if you just go down the alleys, it might be dangerous in some places. I knew people and I've done it too, but I didn't like it. You could make like 200 a day collecting aluminum. Everybody's throwing it there. Look, just pick up the cans and the shit. Take it. They're all over the place in LA. They're in like the shopping mall or like in the parking lot of the grocery. They're everywhere. And copper and glass and whatever. A lot of people do it. Hell, people are rich from doing that. They put their kids through school from there's teams. Matter of fact, they war with each other. This is my area. You just find things around LA. I found a set of golf clubs. Man, I forgot how much I've made off that set of golf clubs. I go, you know what? It was talking to me. I'm like, I'm going to take this. It's just in the alley, just sitting there by the garbage. Grab it, go home, look at the name of it, whatever. Google, and I'm like, what? Wow, I scored. But it ain't for everybody, man. again, there's different types of people in the world. I truly wish that I would have done something else, but at the time, that's what I wanted to do. And I have a few regrets, but then again, I had a lot of fun. I've lived 1,000 men's lives. You know, I'm lucky to be alive too. Uh, you learn how to well, it gets tricky. You get a little grit on you. It changes you. You get a little meaner and tougher, and you get fearless. And honestly, all that is contradictory to your creative spirit. You know, but hey, what are you gonna do? You made your bed. Now you gotta. Yeah, good times. Heartfelt, warm, kinda, perhaps, maybe. But I do this every day. Again, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support this shit show, the information in the description for Zelle. So I'll be back tomorrow, ranting and raving like a madman. But I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.